All right, got a project tonight. So this is a e-motorcycle that I have. I didn't build it, but there were some things on it I didn't like how it was set up, and I want to change it. And well, I did build some stuff. I made this number plate. It was actually made from another number plate. Oh, I think that came off of like a 2008 450 Honda, and then put this front fender on. I did a rear fender too, but I put this little mirror on. It's like for a hand guard, little bracket, and this mirror fit right into it from a little extra mirror I had from my scooter. Anyways, but back to the project. So they had this throttle controller. I think that's what it's called. I don't know too much about these e-bikes, but they had it mounted like this, like that, and the rear tire, when you bottom out, it would just smack in the back of this thing, and you can see the marks right there. It's just not a good design. I get why. This thing is huge. Can't fit it in here anywhere. I've been trying to figure out where to put this thing. Won't fit anywhere. So it has these mounting brackets on the outside, but might be chopping those off because I don't know. It's even bigger with it. So I figured I'll put it right here. I've seen other people have it mounted here. I know it's like behind the back tire, but I'm not doing too much dirt riding. It's more street, but I don't know if it's waterproof. I've seen other people do it though, so they must be. I'll put it here, and then I can't really mount it because these are on the outside. So I figured chop those off so it's smaller. And then I see right here, I have little mounting bolts that go in, and it's, I guess, just to hold this trim on, but it's actually pretty beefy back here. So it mounts right in there. That thing is well made, so I think it'll hold. But yeah, make a bracket though. Come off of there, boom, wrap it around, and so hold it in. It looks like they did have it here one time, maybe an old one, because I think they did modify it. It has a big old motor. I think it does like 60 miles per hour. But so they must have had one there before, and they got a hole cut out. So yeah, that's my project. So I'm gonna mount that, make a bracket. I got scrap metal. I don't know, this is like from a TV, mounting a TV. Some kind of another mount. I don't know, scrap. So I seen on this metal, it has this like already pre-bent corner. Feels pretty strong. And I could just put it right over there. It just goes right over that perfectly. So that will hold it from sliding side to side. And then I'll chop it, make it fit it so it has both sides like that. And then has this, or it can, boom, it kind of fits right in these grooves too, in these little teeth. So I feel like that will kind of hold it a little better too. But I'll weld that to that bracket. And then in the back here, with this piece, same thing, kind of, it's already pre-bent right there where I could cup it around. And then I'll chop it probably in the middle, bring this over so it doesn't have the slop. Probably chop here to where that goes across, boom. The other one, then I'll have it come down off of here with maybe a gusket and to hit that screw. That same thing on this side. So whatever, we'll get there. Oh, and I think this was the first time I ever had to use a putty knife to work on a motorcycle. But I ain't gonna talk crap about the build because that worked good. This battery didn't budge, and I'm probably just gonna leave that, put it right back in there because I already put this thing through some abuse already, and it worked well.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And don't judge me for my Ryobi grinder. It's just a grinder, shut up. All right, next plan was installing this to connect these two. I was gonna put it like this and chop them, have this like section, but if I chop this, I'm gonna have these like big gaps, you know, where it won't weld nice, I don't think. So if I do this, put that on that end, get a nice weld over there. It does have a little gap. I'll probably try to hit that down so I don't have to fill it all with weld. But chop this in the middle. And then do the same thing over there, chop it in the middle, and then it'll look kind of similar. I did find another one where the holes are on the opposite side. So instead of all holes on one side, I think I'll chop it off this one, and it'll kind of look like it's supposed to, I don't know, I think it'll look nicer with having the holes on either side, so it's not all just one side. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna try to do that. I was just looking at this thing, doesn't it kind of look like a radiator for a dirt bike? Like, that would be the fill cap. Is it, I don't know. So I'm gonna go half the distance, which is from here to here, 7 1/4. Little trick on tape measures, kinda. But if you don't wanna do math in your head, 7 1/4, you do that. And then you put it right on 7 1/4 with this. And then at the end of your tape measure will be your size. Hard to see in this video, but so if I look right straight down it, 7 5/8, or sorry, 3 5/8 when I put it there. Little trick. So let's check that. 3 5/8. Make a little mark on here. 3 5/8 that way, and we're at 3 5/8, so that's center. All right, so let's set this here. Make a mark at our mark. All right, and then take this one, make our mark at our mark. I get a little weird with these holes and combining these metals, but we'll see how it comes out. I'm gonna try and bend this metal down, so I'm gonna try to put these like behind it so it doesn't mushroom out the metal when I try to tap it. So I'm gonna stick that right there and just tap there and try to bend that down. Get both these right there. I look like crap with this paint. Once it, see what I'm saying? It bends it down, that way I can weld it. All right, so I'm kind of talking about. Got these bent down so the weld will go nice. It's kind of goofy, but whatever. I think it'll work. Not sure how these are gonna weld. Stuff's kind of thin, but it seems pretty strong. It's supposed to hold big TV, so should hold this. I think I'd change my mind. Not really liking that look. Thinking if I just cut it all in line like that. Also, because my welds are gonna be like, there's pockets right here where it's not gonna get good. I don't know if I can get a weld in there properly, so I'm gonna cut this one, have it go in line. I think that'll look fine. Yeah, I think this will work better. Or I could get my weld all through. I'll let you know I'm not a welder at all. I'm just self-taught. But I know when you do like something like this, you gotta make sure that when I grind, I cut into the metal to give it some room for your weld to come in and fill that in to connect these two. If you're just straight, it just puts a weld right on top and it'll eventually come loose and snap these off. So I'm trying to get it grounded so that these have like a 45 edge to them. So when I put them up, it has like a V, and then I'll fill it in with weld. And I'm just really trying to fill that. The welds are ugly, but so I could smooth them out, just so I know I'm getting, I don't know, trying to do the best I can with these. They're kind of thin, so I don't know, I was wanting to blow holes and stuff, and all I got is like this little tiny Lincoln that I've had forever, and I've just learned with this thing, kind of know it pretty good, and it doesn't have gas hookup or anything. It's just basic little welder, but gets it done. All right, let's try to weld these together. So I'm kind of making that dip right now. Not really too worried about this paint. I think the weld will just burn it through it, but it's still on there. So I'm creating that 45, so the weld will go in there. I'll peel it out, files proper way, only forward with them. When you go backwards, it will dull it out. So I decided I'll put these holes on this side and not flipped on the other side. That way if somebody asks me, you know, when it's mounted on the bike, hey, what are these holes about right there? I could just show them this and be like, hey, see that? There's more electric going right there. It needs more cooling, you know? So that way they think you know what you're talking about. All right, let's see how many holes we can burn in this thing. I'll start in the paint first. Oh my God, I do this every time. I don't know if that's gonna transfer. I hate having to hook this thing up, it's so annoying. Got this table that it's not touching anywhere. Let me get, oh, of course. All right, good enough. That's not penetrating at all. You gotta turn it higher. I got this going kind of fast so it wouldn't burn a hole in it. I'll slow it down a little bit. Hopefully I can get some. That sounds a lot better. That's perfect there. So if I could keep it. cleaned up. Not too bad. It's pretty strong. Seems like it'll work. Let's go right there. Let's weld those together. See how it comes out. Okay, so this is where I want it. I'd love to just tack it on right here, but I don't know how much heat this thing can take, so I don't want to damage anything. Sure, it'd be fine, but what I'm going to do, I cut this piece of wood, same size, set this down, at least get some tack welds, put that like that. Remember, it has these sides that kind of drops down a little further, so that way it can drop on each side. That's why I didn't do like a 2x4, but put it on like there, get it all squared up and stuff. Do a tack weld, set it on, see how it fits, do the other side, blah, blah, blah. See how it goes. All right, got it squared up on this piece of wood. Let's see, put a little tack weld, see how it goes.
Fits it.
Yeah. See if that fits okay. A little off on my centering. Yeah, I was a little off, dang it. I gotta move this over a little tiny tad, so I'll redo it. All right, we're sitting proper now, so let's shoot it. One thing to note, this metal was a little thicker on here compared to this, so what I know to do is to start on this metal and kind of bring your bead onto the lighter metal, just because it's thicker, so that when you push it, you don't burn a hole through that one, and I'll penetrate into that one first to get it hotter, to jump it onto this one that's not so hot. That way, I don't know, this works better that way. There it is, all grounded. Usually don't ground my welds too much, but I was trying to make this look kind of like one piece, somewhat like it was all made together, but I did put a little back bead back here too, just for a little extra strength. All right, got her all tacked up. It's fitting really nice. No slop, it's good, so we'll go ahead and shoot this. Let it get a little too hot right there. See how it burns pretty easy? So I gotta try and fill that. What I know, maybe speed up my wire so it fills more wire in before it gets too hot. Let it cool down, see if that works. All right, I got this part done. Fits nice and snug, what we want. It doesn't want to rattle around. Just looking at Xena, huh? What are you doing? You hunting bugs? Yeah, she's hunting. Anyways. All right, gotta have some metal, figure out a system to connect to the 2 bolts that'll be on each side. And I'm gonna do that tomorrow though, because it's getting late and I don't want to piss my neighbors off. Not that they're got awesome neighbors, but I just don't want to. I don't know, it's rude. It's 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna grind metal at 10. Wanna go inside? Let's go inside.
You know, the patio door is literally open, bitch.
Xena eats like a princess up here on her own little table. Let's not forget about Coco. Coco, come here. Show everybody your sweet mullet. She just got a haircut yesterday. Come here, Cocos. Come here. You hungry, huh? All right, we're in the next day. About the crack of noon. It's rainy outside. But back to the project. So finished this last night. So now I gotta come up with the brackets to hit the 2 screws. So for the back side, I found this piece of scrap metal, another piece of scrap metal. What I'm thinking, I'll bend this up so it attaches the back here, and then because the screw's gonna be around here, and I'm thinking I will draw it out here. Thinking I will cut this metal somewhat like this at an angle, put that more even, somewhere as in to where it hits the screw, like right here. This is goofy looking right now, but it has these little legs on here. So what I'll do, I will chop that like that, bend that in to this piece of metal, weld it, same thing on that side, so it kind of goes at a V, and then I'll put plating so it follows that metal like that, and at the top, and it all kind of boxes this in, so it just has like a cool sloping look into the bolt. I don't know, just so it's not just all squared off and weird looking, give it a little more better look to it, and for whatever wind purposes, I guess. Yeah, well, that's what we'll say for wind. Anyways, for front's gonna have to come a different sign. I gotta do a little more thinking because I'm not gonna be able to put this right there because of the wires, of course. I will have to come up with something different. Haven't thought that far yet, but let's build this first and then we'll come up with that after. All right, we're gonna get this to bend flat. I'll put a little heat in it. It's cold today and just helps it bend the metal. Get that a little more flat using a hammer. It helps to have, of course, a square like this to see it like when I'm on the right angle. But what works better if you get one where you can put it around a square like this, and this will really show you that, like right there, I need to bend it out a little more to be square. So these come in handy. So do a little more tweaking. Now we're nice and square. But I did realize on this piece of metal just now, it is a smaller distance from here than it is here. So it's kind of on an angle, downslope angle. I don't know if you can see that. It's bigger up here than it is down here. But I'm not sure if that's going to affect us. We'll see. So you can see a little better what I'm talking about. It's higher right here than it is here. So this little wall right here is taller. I don't think it's going to be an issue because I'm just going to be bringing these in and my plate's going to be covering all this and here. So you'll never see this. So I'm not too worried about trying to cut that straight, make it look nice. So what I gotta do now is put this kind of where I want it. And then I gotta measure how far from the speed controller to that bolt right here. So I gotta remove that. Oh, that's tight. Ouch. Let me get that bolt out. This thing is covered in these to hold all the plating on. And it will not fit a socket. And somebody already kind of damaged all these, but actually no sockets will fit these. And sometimes they get pretty tight. I found this thing. This is like a tool for like a mown sink or something. And I don't know why this one fits right in there for some reason. It worked out pretty good, but I'd like to have it something on a drill where I could just easily take them all out, in and out, but this will just have to do for now. All right. Of course, I'm not going to run these with this. These are seem like real light aluminum. I just feel like that would break or something. Just doesn't have the strength and the torque I want to put on putting this mount on here. So we'll switch those. It is the same thread as like a Japanese dirt bike, so it'll work out pretty good. So I set this. I have a hole right here, so I don't want to cover that. This is the other screw right there that we got to hit too, but I don't mind being equal distance. I'll put it a little bit more probably up here, actually I want to keep this. Also, I see when this suspension goes in, it doesn't hit it. I think we're clear though. I think that could be a case, so hopefully not. But anyways, I'm gonna measure. It looks fine to me there. You can always adjust it later if it is a problem. We got, let's make it an even 2 center of that, but we want our metal to go for about 2 3/4, so it has some good metal to go around, so 2 3/4. I could cut that metal at that size and have more manageable metal to mess with. 2 3/4. Yeah, I don't recommend not running the outer cover on this, but so this belt slips off a lot and you got to change it out a lot or just put it back on. It's a pain in the butt because there's like 4 screws that go around on this model. Some of them have like a nice little easy thing. I don't recommend it. It's a little dangerous, but it's so much easier. I know it's there. I'm careful with it. So what I'm going to do now is try to chop down that like a nice line so that I can move that wall over. Same with this side, over like that, and get that going. Exactly what I'm talking about. I know I should use a grinder there. I don't know. I just start committing to things and just won't stop. Even though it's not right, I'll just keep going because I don't know. A little dumb like that for some reason. Oh yeah, gotta hit the lever. I've never seen one of these put on, but it's a lever loosens one wheel. Get these all lined up. So every time that happened, you'd have to take off this freaking plate right here, and with 4 screws, pain in the butt. It's an older model, so they have the easier ways, but I don't like doing that. Before you do that, you should probably shut the power off too, but again, I'm not that smart. Alright, so gotta cut this all out right here. And then these will be bent to where that material is gone. And then that will give it the strength as like a gusket there. So, and then we'll have our plates to be cut after. I think you guys seen enough grinding and cutting and stuff. I'll just show you when it's all cut. Alright, this is what we got. Got that chopped out. Now time to bend these in towards that. And I'm thinking maybe I could get a little round on each one to where it strengthens this whole piece. We'll see. Shit. Remember those videos that were going around and they'd have a guy in glasses like these and they'd have the grinding disc like stuck in there like this and they'd be like shaking and holding their grinder up like, oh, that was fake. They'd grind it first and just stick it in the... Probably wondering who doesn't wear gloves. I do, I just I don't have an answer for you though. So actually, instead of it bending around this way, I think I'm gonna actually like get a hard bend here and try to match these around so they kind of come around this way. Or maybe I'll add a separate material. I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm not gonna cut these fins off yet until I kind of want to test it maybe before I do that, just in case this doesn't work for some reason. I just, I don't know, because once I cut those off, like, it has to be bracketed on somehow or strapped on or something. You lose the properties of mounting that by those mounts. So I'm gonna wait on those. Taking a little break to have some coffee. Because that's what you do when you're 39 years old. You have coffee at 2 o'clock and your back hurts. Oh, and I lied to you guys about cutting off the fins off the speed controller. So I did a little work off camera. It's not pretty, but got these welded. Also welded these on. It's gonna be covered in the plating. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting plate here and here. I got like 16 gauge off a plate that I have. You know, usually when you're working with scrap metal, you know, you chip away at it or cut away whatever material you don't need and make it all fit and stuff. Now you're making, if you got a sheet like this, of course you don't want to do that with a big old sheet, so you use, you know, paper, cardboard, whatever to make a template and make your pattern off of that, transfer it to the metal, then you cut it, that way you don't waste your metal. All right, so I got my template made. Basically just went to the top here, to that bottom, and I will eventually, I'm gonna grind it also, it keeps going with that slope right there. But just cut 2 of these, 1 for each side. And now I'll transfer that to my sheet metal. Little tip too when you're doing template stuff, like when you transfer, instead of going straight on your line, as in grinding straight there, bring it back a little bit, just, you know, like a 1/16. That way you can fine tune it with like your grinder or something if you're fabbing up something really like perfect. But I'm going right on my line just because I kind of want a gap where I'm putting these cuts, because I'm going to be adding the welds there to connect it with the other one, and I kind of want a little gap. So a proper way of doing that would put it in the vise so it won't fling out your hand. But if you're gonna be dumb like me and just hold it in your hand, I just seen I put a glove on for a piece like this, is because this will gas you really hard. But you see me turn my grinder the other way. I like to shoot this, whatever the way the sparks, that way if it flings, it doesn't go towards me, it will fling out towards wherever it goes. Somewhat safe, right? All right, I got those little plates on. It's kind of look like a Mad Max little garden shovel or something. Anyways, you put a top on it, this one, and like show you a little trick getting your template. Just kind of hold it where you are. You can kind of do that, but take a pencil and just kind of go on the side of it. Make sure you don't move your paper as you do this. And you get your pattern that way like that. And you just cut that out. So there's my cutout. I'm gonna do like a little rounded area, that way the socket could go right there. And I think I might try to close it in right here with a piece of metal too. We'll see if we want to get that detailed. Kind of don't mind it open. Also, this is on the bottom. No one's gonna really look, so I might just keep it open. That way any water too can just flow out of it. I think I might try to drill a hole first so it has a nice clean edge around that. Use this big daddy right here, and then cut it out from there. First start with this little pilot just to get some meat out, and then I'll move to this one, and then move to this one. Should go pretty quick just because it's sheet metal, not very thick. You dare. Oh my god. You won't believe this. Please not to be lazy. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I'll clean the table. Alright, got that cut, or drilled. So I just gotta do these. I think that worked out pretty good. Sometimes when I grind these, I'll leave a little bit on there. That way when I grind this side, it's not like floppy or anything. All right, got this piece done here. So you can see what kind of look I'm going for. Just has like I'll clean it all up too after I weld it and stuff. But I think before I weld this, I might clean this up and spray some stuff in here, because once I close that in, I'm not gonna be able to get in there to keep it from rusting. So yeah, I'll probably spray that all up. Ooh, just got a package. I think I know what this is. So this, what I just got in, I got 2 of them. It does this. and it's a bench stool. And I'll show you why I bought these though. My plan, not to really use it as a stool, but a table. I think you've seen this in the video. I've been welding and grinding all over it, but it's supposed to be my table. And I'm gonna mount this up here, and that will be a table that can quickly fold out for my van. I got a camper van I've been building on the inside and stuff, and got everything in there. I built a shower and bench and TV and stuff, but I had nowhere to put a table. So I just figured how those collapse into nothing, I could just store them in there, flip them out as I do, and have a table. Have two of them, for one for me and one for my wife. But that's a separate video. Maybe I'll do a van video, show you guys the whole van. Thing's pretty cool. All right, guys, let's kind of have a little standstill because kind of reconfiguring this design actually. You know, initially I'm gonna put it right here and decided not to do that now. Now I'm thinking we're gonna put it here. The reason, my seat is really low right here, and I wanted to kind of lift this so it's more even. The rear is really high. It's kind of like a trial style bike. And for it to be kind of normal feeling, I think it'd be like right there, which like a normal dirt bike, they're pretty flat here. And then this one kind of just dips down, and it does it when you're riding, and it's like really small from here to here. And trials are made to be like standing up the whole time. This thing, I'm not standing pretty much at all because I'm on street. So I think we could kill two birds with one stone here. So take advantage of this. I don't know if there's any issues of doing this, but what I plan on doing is putting this now here like so. And I thought I was going to throw the look way off and be kind of ugly, but it kind of grew on me after setting it here. So, and if I set it like this, and it looks kind of weird, but okay, you got to picture this being kind of covered. And let's see, this is gonna be, so like, it's not that bad of a look, and I get that height out of my seat. You see that? Kind of straightens out, as a dirt bike should. And, you know, of course you gotta envision it with all the plastics on, but I don't know. It's looking, I think the way, what I'm looking at is how level this is, and gonna lift it up right there to feel like a normal dirt bike. So I think I'm gonna build it like this, and I don't know, I just felt like it, if I do go off-roading and saying it beat up down here. I don't know if there's any issues of, I don't know how hot this thing gets, but mostly we're sitting back here. I don't know if it'll melt the seat or anything. You know, whatever, we could just change it up. Everything, I usually make everything to where you could go back to normal again, or, you know, not too much modifications that's gonna just, where it has to run that way or something. But anyway, so what I'll have to do here, so how this works, let me show you. How the seat bolts on, has this back plate right there, and it bolts into there, but it slips these two, let's see if I can point it, these two channels, they slip into here to lock it in. So you go forward and it's locked in right there. See how it's just like at a downhill, it gets, when you mostly want to sit right here, and it's just too short. So what I'm gonna have to do here, what I'm thinking, chop these out, because those are the size for those little spikes in the seat to sit in. I got some of this, same size of this frame, because it has to pick up now because we're gonna be up higher. Weld that in place, chop those out, and then weld these on top of this piece. So it'll be kind of sit like that, but right here. So I'll lift these and let the seat go above it. And then, and I'll see, that might just be enough support. Of course, I got my bracket on this thing, so if I need to, I'll see how that runs first with it in place, put it back, and see how sturdy that is. And so, oh, and then also I'm gonna be chopping this flat here because there's a mounting which is about right here, and then I'm still gonna have a cap off of this, but I'm gonna chop that flat and kind of have maybe like a cap where I could get to that screw, or I don't know, figure out a different design. But there is a brace right where I could bolt into right here that's just really strong. Of course, it's not threaded like I already had on that one, so I'll just have to I don't know, maybe do a riv nut or a nut and bolt or something. I'll see. And then I still got to come up with something for the back to mount here somewhere. All right, guys, we are at a point of some new boundaries of doing some major modifications. We're about to get Orange County choppers up in here, so wish me luck. Here we go. All right, got this all fabbed up. Probably went a little crazy on the welds, but I don't know, just want to make sure it's strong, supporting me pretty heavy. Anyways, so those little teeth gonna go right in there. Sits nice and taller. There, it locks in. So that will be bolted in right there, of course. That's locked in, and it's pretty stable. So I think we'll be good right there. So next step is gotta figure out some brackets to mount to here, I think. I'll come down and mount here. Make sure I gotta make all these wires. And there's the hole that the wires come into. Make sure I don't block any of that. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna weld the nut here, wherever the hole is. That way I just take my screw and screw it in from the bottom to lock it in. And then that way I can just cap this and weld it off, and hopefully that weld never breaks on that nut. But so I got the holes drilled through both of these, but what I'm gonna do is drill this one just a tad bigger, just so when I weld this nut on, I don't, if it kind of moves a little bit, I got a little wiggle room so it doesn't hit the body with the threading. So just making this one a little bigger. And now I'll be welding the nut right on there, so that way it's locked in there, then we can plate it. Paint's still in here, so I'm gonna clean it up for the welds. My smallest wire wheel, and I'm not sure if it's gonna fit in here. Actually, just tend it out a bit. Man, that's some tough paint. All right, got a good little area right there. I'm just gonna go with that. So I'm gonna do, I put the nut on the end of this bolt. I try and protect the threads as I weld it, and I can hold it pretty good with it. Only got like one shot at this, so hopefully it works. Make sure we're good. I think we are. I'm gonna make sure I can thread from the back side. A little off, might have to redo it, or I might have to try and chisel out a little more. I don't know, I screwed up. Alright, we're good. I had to kind of ream it out carefully, not to touch the threads, you know, because it has the nut on that side, and push it. As you can see, the nut is like more, I think it might have, what happens sometimes when you weld stuff, it pulls the metal. So I think I thought I had it all the way against that wall, but there's a little gap, and I wanted that all the way against the wall. But yeah, it'll work though. All right, I got this thing in here. So that's welded in, so that way I could cap this off and just totally close this off so it looks nice. Screw goes from the bottom, and it is right there. Right there. And it's actually locked in here really good right now. Like, this thing ain't budging, man. Even the seat, I got one bolt in the seat right now, so, and I sat on it, feels good and proper, like how it should feel. And I am thinking here, instead of making like a bracket to hold it, this thing is pretty, like, I think if I put a plate over and it catches right here, and the same thing on the other side. So if I weld a plate up, it'll hold it in right there. The seat holds it down this way. It's definitely going anywhere because remember, it has those little things into this tube that put pressure down onto this. But put a plate up, and maybe go back so it fills this whole area up and protects all the wires kind of so you don't see them, and kind of cap that off so it has, maybe I'll make it, I'm trying to get this thing to focus, something to make it flow a little better here. But yeah, I'll come up with something. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. I made a little pattern of maybe putting a plate so it rides just like that. So it follows that line. Boom. And it will cover all that up. A handy little tool to have in your toolbox is this thing, a little adjustable angulationer. So like, you know, for all these weird angles, you can get them with these and copy it to your paper. All right, guys, I keep making changes and not recording it, but I've done some stuff where this went straight across, and so this was kind of being shoved into here. So I chopped it here because I noticed it wasn't sitting completely flat. It was kind of shoved and pushed up like that. So I made where I chopped it out, and then I'm going to put a plate going across all the way across here so it has a nice plate for that to sit on. And something else I did, and I know all this work we did, but I chopped this off. I'm just gonna have it like that, and I don't think I'm gonna do this. Well, I know for sure I'm not gonna need it, but we'll see. But I figured the seat sitting on here has a lot of pressure already that's holding this thing down. Hopefully it doesn't get like crazy hot. Like I said, I don't know how these things, how hot they get, and the seat comes up about that far. I'm just gonna go for it. I don't know, but seat's going to push down this way. Remember, I'm going to make those plates that come up. I'm about to cut those here in just a minute. That come up and hold it from going side to side. Then I got the pressure of that holding this way. So once that seat's there, I don't think this thing's going anywhere. So I think we're good. But yep, I'm going to start cutting these plates now. Got the Bulls e-bike charging up. Me and my buddy, Mechanic Mike, going to go for a smooth, easy trail run tomorrow because he's injured, I'm injured, I got a bad back, he's got a bad leg, and we're just taking it easy. But anyways, these are the kind of bikes you ride when you're older, because you're definitely not riding something like this anymore because your back hurts. Alright, got this thing all ready. Got the plate on there and sanded. This is all welded up. Show you how it fits. Got this loose right now, just so I can get it on here pretty easy. Like that, so it's locked into place, can't go side to side. Once I lock that in, it'll be nice and tight. And then, remember the seat will bolt in back here. This will slip in. Like that, and I think we're good to go. And just gotta clean her up now and paint it and hook her back up. I'm kind of digging that look. So there it is with the plate all in place. So you can see how it kind of blocked all the wires from seeing that. When it's all black too. Well, I'm not gonna paint this because I think that would make it overheat because this is probably anodized. So I don't know if we'll see what it looks like without it being colored, but I'd like to get this black so it just matches in with the bike. And I have a back fender that goes on here, and then I don't know, maybe add another plate here or something so that's black, or I don't know, maybe add some plastic or something to fade in, like I have a number plate that goes with the fender. All right, I got this thing all put back together and finished, and I'm very happy how this came out. It rides a lot nicer now, being taller. Actually have some video doing some wheelies and stuff on it. My buddy took, I'll put that at the end of the video. Made some fenders and stuff too. This is the rear fender I was talking about earlier. And these are just covering up some holes, but these are actually from a side plate on a dirt bike, one of these, from an older one. See, I just chopped it. Goes like something like that. I just took it off right there. Made some little side number plates. Came out pretty good. Ended up painting that black because I went and tested it. Got no heat out of it or nothing. Didn't even feel hot at all. So I was just like, okay, it can handle some paint. So I just did it with a matte black though. I think it kind of looks good too, like it's part of the seat or something. But I just figured if I did it shiny as I did the frame and this piece, it would make kind of like a shell over it and get hot or something. I have, and I think it's would be heat trying to escape and keep it from doing that, which I didn't want, where a flat paint is not, and I only did one coat over it just so it didn't have any kind of shell that built over it to make it hot. But no, I'm very happy with how it came out though. It looks pretty cool, almost like a gas tank or something for it, but yeah. You know, and I'm so happy I didn't put it down here. And, you know, when I'm doing my projects, I try to keep thinking on different ways of doing it, keeping an open mind, because, you know, sometimes you get a project, get in your head, and you're just so set on doing what's in your head that you thought of, where, you know, there might be a better way. And even though I did all that work, I'm happy I just went that route, you know. Even like I saw, what really made me think was, you know, I showed my dad when I was doing it down here, and he was kind of like, that's kind of dumb. And I was like, so it got me thinking too. And he was thinking, what about back here? But, you know, I put the seat too high and stuff, and it just got me thinking. And so initially, he's the one that kind of made me think of it, and I was like, actually, here, and getting me to think about, you know, killing two birds with one stone, lifting that seat up. So, you know, so that just tells you, listen to other people too. They might have better ideas or to make you think of a better one, you know, with whatever they're saying. Also, got a cover here to cover, this is actually off a TTR 125, a shock cover, but that way it covers all the electronics that are in there. And, you know, I did feel like these can get a little dirty. I was trying to find a cover for that, but I think I'll just keep that open, whatever. But yeah, happy how these little fenders came out. Pop the seat off so you guys can see what it looks like with it all hooked up. So came out good. My paint job on the frame was horrible. I don't know why it bubbled up on this stuff, but whatever. It's all covered anyways. But didn't do too bad on here. But yeah, worked perfect. So can't go side to side. Locks in perfectly there. Well, guess that wraps up the rest of this video. So I know it's a long one, probably like hour long or so. But yeah, I always got projects, so I don't know, maybe I'll keep recording them. Maybe I'll do the van one. But I'm always doing something, so I guess I'll see you on those next ones. Peace.